Today on the channel, there's a new retro wrestling company on the block, Title Run Toys, and we're going to dive into them for the first time with Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, and Dangerous, Danny Davis.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for something entirely different, but also the same at the same time. What are we talking about today? For the first time, we're going to unbox some Title Run Toy retro figures with Dangerous Danny Davis and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. And of course, for all your Title Run Toy needs, head over to Title Run Toys. They are soliciting Series 2, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, and we have been talking about that in our toy news videos. And of course, we're going to do this unboxing like we do all the other unboxings on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And a little bit of housekeeping here at the beginning. Of course, Retro Mania has been sweeping the nation or the world, the universe, the galaxy, whatever you want to call it. The last few years here, 5 years, what is time once again? There are a lot of companies doing retro Hasbro style, Hasbro-esque figures. Of course, we know that. And I even got a list right here, just so I wouldn't forget any. And I probably am forgetting some, but you got KWK, you got Heels and Faces, you got Grapplers and Gimmicks. Of course, you got Mattel, you got Rush Collectibles, you got Figure Collections, you got Epic Toys, you got Latuni, and now we got Title Run Toys. So the retro market, very saturated for a very niche style wrestling figure. Now, I grew up a Hasbro kid, so this is barking up the right tree for me, but they're not for everybody, as we do know. But there's a lot of competition in this headspace here. That's why I think we're seeing the rise of the big rubber guys and the LJN line returning from Mattel, because a little bit of retro burnout. And we can only get so much stuff. You know me, I want to be a completionist. It's very hard to do with all of these different companies. It's a lot of money, as we do know. But the Title Run Toys group here that we're going to dive into did something very, very smart. One thing they did here, Matt Maniacs, that's another one I forgot. I knew I'd forget one of them. They had the LOD and the Steiners and a lot more coming. So there's even more. But the nice thing about these Title Run Toys, and I will give them credit for this, going a little bit deeper, not giving us the same old, same old. We've seen Macho Man in the different lines. We've seen some of these other characters in different ones. They're giving us some people we really haven't seen before, like Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff and Dangerous Danny Davis. And of course, the rest of Series 1, we got some other heavy hitters. You got Brian Clark Wrath, who we did get from Cella once upon a time. That's a company that's no longer around, of course. But first time in the line, Ernest the Cat Miller as well. Juventud Guerrera. We got some of those. And check out that unboxing to come on the channel as well. And now we dive into Series 2 from Title Run Toys. They got Mike McGurk first time in the line. Nikita Koloff first time in the line. A Harley Race, which we are going to get one from Mattel, but a Harley Race over there. So they're going with people that we haven't seen instead of just going to Macho Man, Macho Man, Macho Man, giving us a little bit of something different. So it's all about finding your niche when there's so many other companies. I think Title Run Toys, so far at least, is doing a very good job of finding their niche. So we'll see where it goes. We'll stay tuned to it in the toy news, but let's dive into these. And let's start off with Dangerous Danny Davis. Why not? And I believe Danny Davis was a Powertown signee who got out of his Powertown contract. Probably a good move for him. But we do got him in Title Run Toys. Now, there's always different ways to go with Dangerous Danny Davis. Of course, Jakks Classic Superstars, was that our last Danny Davis figure? We got that in his referee gear. This is in his, teaming up with the Hart Foundation Jimmy Hart gear, which I probably prefer for Danny Davis. And it's a shame Jakks never got us one of those. We'd love to see an elite-style Danny Davis in the future. But it does look really, really good in the Jailbird outfit, or whatever you want to call it. I guess referee outfit is what it is. Foot Locker associate outfit. Title Run Toys, TRT up top there, official. Dangerous Danny Davis autograph. You got the very Hasbro and style packaging. Very inspired by it. Obviously, we see this from a lot of the companies. With Sneering Strike. Okay, authentic action move. Dangerous Danny Davis. Card feels nice and sturdy. Very good, very nice right here. On the back, we're black and white once again. We got the little file card. Very, very Hasbro-esque on this one. And I guess we'll call it the Purple Card series, huh? with the purple here. On the back, official licensed collectibles, TRT. You got the image of the artwork here, of course. You got the credits. You got the QR code down here as well. You do see the rest of Series 1, Wrath, Juventud Guerrera, Ernest Cap Miller. We'll be unboxing those in a separate video once again. Dangerous Danny Davis, height 5'10", weight 230 pounds, origin, Dover, New Hampshire. Beautiful this time of year, I'm sure. Infamous referee turned wrestler. Dangerous gimmick debuted at WrestleMania 3. Of course, the long run up to that there. So all in all, not a bad piece of business. Let's get him off the card, though. Let's see how it is. How hard is it? A little bit harder to get off the card. And this feels a lot like the other retro companies as far as packaging and firmness to the card and stuff. So you got to imagine, see you later, goodbye, a lot of factory reuse on these guys. I'm sure there's only a couple of factories making these, and they're all kind of using the same factories. See you later, goodbye. Don't know that for a fact, but it just makes sense there. But now we got Dangerous Danny Davis out of the package here. Now, first off, if somebody handed me this head, I don't think I could tell you it's Dangerous Danny Davis. He had a head that's memorable, but I don't know if it gets down into the action figure-wise memorable head here. Just kind of looks like a guy with black hair. It almost looks like Balky from Perfect Strangers. Shout out to Bronson Pinchot. I think, Todd McFarlane, you said that was your favorite actor of all time, was Bronson Pinchot. Oh, your favorite comedian as well. So a two-time favorite for you over there. Cool enough to see that. But we do got Dangerous Danny Davis, of course, got the black hair going on, 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. Now, this could be just my copy, but it looks like his left eye is a little bit smaller than his right eye. So that could be all of them, could just be mine, I'm not sure. He definitely has that sneer on his face, there's no doubt about that. Got that bodysuit over the top there in white. Looks like he's wearing long underwear is what it looks like here. And then you got the referee-style pants down below. Dangerous on the back there, black and white down into the boots as well. He does got the open 5 hand there. I guess he's going to make the pin, make the count right there maybe. And then he's got a Fist of Fury going on there as well. I will say the head maybe a little bit large in proportion size, but that is something we see with retros over the years. Remember Bret Hart Hasbro? He had the biggest head ever. On the bottom here, you got TRT, and then you got S1 down here. Series 1, that's an interesting thing. You don't see that very often, so I guess you know what series is. You're never going to forget. You'll remember S1 right there. Articulation, arms go all the way around, head back and forth. Arm goes all the way around over here. Waist articulation, and that is all she wrote. No other articulation here. Kind of to be expected, though, with retro-style figures. You're not going to get tons of articulation. And what do you know, fits perfectly on a Mattel ringside collectible stand. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. Not bad there. And of course, grab the Hart Foundation from Mattel, and it's just a reunion of sorts. I should have grabbed the Jimmy Hart. I guess I could do that for the glamour shots. But cool to have this. I could see displaying this Dangerous Danny Davis with the Hart Foundation. Definitely a moment in time around WrestleMania 3, as it said on the back of the card there. But not a bad piece of business here. It's basically what you get yourself into with these retros. It doesn't feel like the Mattel or Hasbro's. It feels more along the line of, you know, everybody else. Everybody else out there, the figure collections, the grapplers and gimmicks, has kind of that same feel, same vibe. Maybe a little bit bigger in the head compared to the rest of the bodies than some, but this is the first one I've seen, so we'll see with that. But Dangerous Danny Davis, a guy we needed in our collection. I'm cool with him getting a retro figure, so nice to get something different than the same old over and over. So cool to see that, but now we're going to an all-timer. We're going to a Hall of Famer. We're going to Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, of course, one of the wrestling legends of all time. WCW era is what this feels like to me. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I guess it could really go in either one, but it does feel a little WCW to me. Now, we know there's more variants of him coming in the future. I guess more figures of him in the future from Top Rope Collectibles. They're making many versions of him, and that's going to be more of a Galoob style. So it's coming up Mr. Wonderful all over the place. Maybe we'll see a big rubber guy. Who knows what we might see with him in the future. But very plain Jane looking here. Could be WCW, could be WWF, wherever you want to put him into. Same card art kind of going on there. A little blurry in the face. We also saw that with Dangerous Danny Davis, but very Hasbro inspired. Got his autograph on there. With Devastating Driver, of course, Mr. Wonderful, the master of the pile driver. So I guess he's set up for that pile driver right there. On the back, you got the file card going on. You got the cross sell. You got the imagery. You got the QR code. You got all the fun. All the fun back there. Diving into Mr. Wonderful. Height 6 foot tall. Weight 252 pounds. Origin, Tampa, Florida. It's always weird to say origin. When it's city of birth, I don't know. Peak physique defined 80s wrestling awesomeness. Feud with a wrestling megastar kickstarted the golden era of wrestling. So working your way around mentioning Hulk Hogan, I guess, is what we're doing there. But we're going to get him off the card. And once again, hard to get off of here. I don't like them easy to get off where, of course, they fall off the card. But I also like them where they just peel off very nice. We're getting kind of a little bit of both. Because I try to keep the card art on these. I try to keep them as nice as I can. There you go. See you later. Goodbye. See you later. Goodbye. And it's time for Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. And actually, I like this one in person. I like this in hand better than it looks in images and on cards for him. To me, it looked very much late career Mr. Wonderful, where he was kind of slimming down. And this is a little bit slimmer, but it's weird that he has a very generic head sculpt, a very generic face. But I immediately look at this head. I know this is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. So I don't know what that says. Maybe it's more memorable than I give it credit for. But definitely looks like Mr. Wonderful. 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. Eyes a little bit uneven, but not bad. Better than Dangerous Danny Davis, that's for sure. And he's got that Mr. Wonderful haircut you can set your watch to any day of the week. You got the head articulation. You got the arm articulation on him. But this one's a little bit different as you do get leg articulation. Now, we don't get that in retros. Have we ever got that in retros outside of like the Nikolai Kikalai from Mattel, of course? But that's pretty darn cool, especially if you're doing the pile driver. You get the legs up there and you sit down in it. So it's really a bit of an evolution of retro figures, you could almost say, with this one here. So I do give them credit for thinking outside the box a little bit on these retros. And I like the idea of that. This would be great. It would have been great as a kid to have leg articulation on the Hasbros. And that's what it would be like with this one here. So it does work for Mr. Wonderful. Of course, he's throwing the double buy, but it also works for the pile driver. So I like that a whole lot there. Beautiful tan, dare I say hot dog tan on Mr. Wonderful. Got the painted on wrist tape there. You got the red trunks there. It does say Mr. Wonderful on the back of the trunks. Very iconic for him, of course. Always like Mr. Wonderful in the white trunks. We don't get enough white trunks, Mr. Wonderful. I think Mattel was the last one or only one to give us one of those. I guess we got one with Jakks too, I believe. Black knee pads here, red boots, gray and white on the boots as well. Series 1, Title Run toys. Should also fit on a ringside collectible stand. Not a bad piece of business with this Mr. Wonderful. I like this one a heck of a lot more than I thought I would like. And I gotta say, these are strong retros. If you're into the retro game, you've bought Epic Toys, you bought Grapplers and Gimmicks, Heels and Faces, Figure Collections, KWK, Rush Collectibles, whatever one, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into with these Hasbro styles for now. So it's not a ton of explanation and stuff to go with these. But if you like some of these deeper cut characters and characters we haven't got before, I can see Mr. Wonderful is a must-have for a lot of people. So makes sense here. And now we can complete WrestleMania 1 as well. We get Cowboy Bob Orton. We get Roddy Piper with him. There's a lot of fun teams that you can make. Dangerous Danny Davis on himself, maybe a little bit plain. Yeah, Jimmy Hart and the Hart Foundation, you're off for the races. Mr. Wonderful, maybe a little plain by himself. Add Bob Orton, add Roddy Piper, you're off to the races. Grab Hulk Hogan, grab your Jimmy Snuka, grab your Mr. T. We can get that WrestleMania 1 main event. We even got Muhammad Ali, don't we? So a lot of meat on the bone here and a lot of stuff that is maybe filling some holes in our collections that are a little bit better than on the surface. So not a bad run here from Title Run Toys in their first appearance here on the channel. Like I said, the other 3 we will be unboxing on the channel. And I'm going to have to get Series 2 because Nikita Koloff is a heavy hitter for me. I like the idea of Harley Race. I'm a Harley guy for sure. Mike McGurk, first time in the line. Feel like I need to do that. We'll see who else they end up adding to the collection in the future. So Title Run Toys, not a bad day at the office right here. Gonna have to stick with them and see where it goes. Of course, it's always great to make a first impression. You got your whole life to make your first set of figures. It's that Series 2 is where you separate the men from the boys. So we'll see where Title Run Toys goes with Series 2 in the near future. So there it is, Title Run Toys, Dangerous Danny Davis, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. What's your guys' thoughts on these two? Pickups, passes, long games, no games, not so sure game, I'm retroed out game? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell as we got videos every single day and then some. We got even more content for you, of course, over there on Patreon. Patreon, the best way to support this YouTube channel. You know, all the content it does bring. Plenty of stuff to keep you busy each and every single day. You guys know that by now. Check it out, of course. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com, which is my podcast each and every single Tuesday. Wherever podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. So for Title Run Toys Series 1, Dangerous Danny Davis, and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?